Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Outdoor Channel, and we're back to talking about our tow vehicles, and not just our tow vehicle, but we're actually talking about tow vehicles and this guy here. This is an Apple iPhone, but it doesn't matter if you got an iPhone or an Android device. And what happens is when we get in the outdoors sometimes, or even just around town, depending on where you're at, sometimes the cell service isn't just that great, particularly campgrounds. I'm not really sure why. Maybe they just want you to pay for their Wi-Fi, but campgrounds are notorious for not having good cell service, whether you're inside the camper or inside the truck. So we have a product today from HiBoost. This is their Cell Signal Booster 3.0. This is something that's going to give you an external antenna you would put on your tow vehicle, truck, or RV. They have a few different versions of this. You have an internal antenna that goes inside the vehicle or your RV, and it boosts the cell signal that you get so you have good reception. So what we're going to do today is a quick unboxing, show you what it is. We'll do an install, show you a couple different ways you can mount this. Today's video, we're specifically talking about the tow vehicle. We will cover the camper in a later video. It's all coming up next. Stay tuned. All right, we're at the workbench. We're going to go ahead and do a quick unboxing. Looks like we have a set of instructions here. Here is the booster unit itself. It's got a little weight to it. You can see some of the plugs here are protected. And then we have our external and internal antennas here with some cabling. Here's the internal antenna. 12-volt power supply, and some assorted adhesive pads to connect to your vehicle. Taking a closer look at the instructions, they do have 3 different kits that are basically the same, but as we look inside here, the mounting hardware is slightly different depending on which kit you get. So here we have the RV and truck. They have some extra hardware to mount to those types of vehicles. What we have today is the car, even though it is a pickup truck, basically using the car install here, just has the adhesive pads to do the install. The manual is a pretty easy read, a mix of black and white and color images that are here. They give a couple examples again of the RV and truck, and when they say truck, they're talking about heavy duty or commercial type trucks. On the previous page we have our install with the car, even though again ours is a pickup truck. I think the biggest takeaway from the manual here is they want the biggest amount of difference you can give between the external antenna and the internal antenna. That's both from a horizontal plane and a vertical plane. In this example, they want this antenna as far back and as high as possible, and the internal antenna as far down and low as possible. This is basically how this is going to work. You have your booster. Again, they have some nice protective little coverings here. Same on the wire side for the antenna. This is the outdoor antenna. It is going to go on the outdoor side of the booster and has a nice threaded connection and should look just like that. Same thing on the internal antenna. Some nice coverings here to remove, and again just threads on, and should again look like that. 12-volt power source goes in the 12-volt DC connection. After that, it's a matter of where you want to mount your antennas. They give you these adhesive patches. This one is for the exterior antenna here. These other smaller ones are both for the internal antenna, and they give you some suggestive spots here to apply to the booster. Moving on to the install, we are at the top and back of the truck. We have our external antenna here. This is magnetic depending on what type of material your truck is made out of. This may work very well, it may not. In this particular GM truck, it seems to hold reasonably well. If you want something a little more robust, again, they do include the adhesive pad here. The white pad is going to go on the face of the antenna. The red pad is 3M adhesive. This is designed to stick to automotive paint, so you want it to be facing in this orientation. If you were to apply that, it should look something like this. Before you use any of the supplied adhesive, always prep the surface first. I like alcohol pads because it does clean very well, there's no soap residue, and because it's alcohol, it does dry pretty quickly. As far as running your wires, I can think of 3 basic ways you can do this. One of them, probably the least invasive way, is to go ahead and mount your antenna and take this wire and run it down the side of the truck that's here. You can get some 3M adhesive and kind of nestle this between the window and the C-pillar here, and then run it down between the bed and the cab. Run it along the frame, securing it against any other moving parts into the engine bay at the front of the truck. Once you get it into the engine bay, behind the battery here is a pretty good spot where you can run it into the firewall, into the cab of the truck. I'm going to go ahead and overlay some footage where we've done this previously. Basically, running a piece of steel or solid wire through the firewall opening, attaching the cable to that and pulling it back into the cab of the truck is the easiest way to do that. There is a module down here that you may need to remove depending on your particular truck. Again, I will overlay some footage. It's just a couple of bolts and a connector. Remove the bolts, remove the connector, run your wires through, and then put everything back where you found it. Once you have it in the cab of your truck, you can run the wires behind the console there or anywhere else in the truck that you really want it, and then we can move on to the internal antenna. The second way you can maybe route the wires is this spoiler is removable on these GM trucks. You will have to drop the headliner from the inside. Again, I will overlay some footage where we've done this previously to get to the bolts that support this spoiler. From there, you can take this wire. You'll probably have to notch a small hole somewhere on the bottom or side of your spoiler, fill it with silicone so you don't have any water intrusion. After that, you can take this, run it anywhere along the headliner that you want since you have it down. Maybe drop it down an A-pillar, and then, just like before, anywhere in the cab that you want to mount the booster, you can go from there. This next one, not really my favorite, but you could certainly do it, and that would be drilling a hole somewhere on the top of your truck. Again, I'm overlaying some footage where we did some cab lights just to give the example. You'll have to drill your hole, probably drop the headliner, go ahead and fill it with silicone as best as you can so you don't have any water intrusion. Probably the cleanest looking install, but you're drilling holes in the top of your truck, which is never fun. And as a bonus fourth, I didn't think of this earlier, but because this is magnetic and you can take it and remove it, you could always take the wire and simply run it through your back window if you have that, and then remove the unit when you're done using it. Now, this does not have to be in a pickup truck. This works on a number of different cars and SUVs. So for the sake of example, I may bounce between the two of these just to demonstrate that. Before we go ahead and permanently install the booster somewhere probably underneath the seat in the truck, let's first talk about power. It comes with a 12-volt DC adapter, and DC is very important. You need to make sure that either your vehicle has a 12-volt round or what we used to call a cigarette lighter adapter. If you use something like this, if you don't have one that's got a 12-volt round on one side and a USB on the other, this will not work because most USB chargers in your vehicle are AC. This again requires DC. For better cable management, you can go through and find one of your fuse boxes. There's one located here. This is somewhat vehicle specific. You can find an accessory on fuse, basically runs when the ignition is on, and take something like a fuse tap and an adapter similar to what we saw before, but one that's designed to hook onto a fuse tap. Maybe do some good connections like with a butt connector, or maybe solder them with some heat shrink. But doing it that way could clean up some wiring and make this look like a really nice clean install. Otherwise, putting it in your regular 12-volt round works just fine if you're okay with managing the wires that way. Once that power is on, you should see some LEDs illuminate there, letting you know the system is booting up and beginning to work. To download the app, go ahead and find this QR code here and take your smartphone and place that over until you can find that. And that'll take you to where you can load the app here on your app store. Select whether you have an Android or iOS style device. It'll then ask you to create an account, username, password, kind of the usual stuff. Once you get through your credentials, you'll need to add a device. It's going to scan for nearby devices, make sure that your booster is somewhere nearby. So it looks like it found it, and it's asking if you want to also connect this to Wi-Fi network. This is an optional step. So we're going to do a quick test here in the driveway. Currently the booster is turned off. I'll have a little screenshot here of what the app looks like. As you can see, all of the different outputs are reading nothing. And we have roughly 2 bars on our cell phone. We're going to go ahead and hit the power button and turn this on. It does take a moment for this to refresh, but you can see we've gone to no signal to pretty good signal on most of these bandwidths, and we've gone from 2 bars up to 4 bars. Okay, so we're on the very north end of my town. I've only got one bar. Again, I'll have a screen overlay here so you can see that. The unit is currently turned off. I'm going to go ahead and hit that little reset button down here. You can see the unit. Hopefully you can see it is starting to light up there. I've got the antenna just temporarily put on the top of the car, and we'll see what happens here to my cell signal. Okay, the unit's kicked on. Again, I'll have the screen overlaid there. We've gone from 1 bar to 2 bars. So we're not going from 1 to 4 or anything like that, but we're at least doubling the strength that we would have otherwise, which is a nice improvement. Actually, it just kicked up to 3 bars. So definitely improvement here. One note I should make is you would need at least 1 bar to make a unit like this work. That is because the booster is going to amplify whatever signal it has. So if you got 1 bar, you're going to get at least 2 or 3 out of it, like we're seeing here. If you have no bars, or basically no signal, well, you can't amplify nothing, right? So it's not going to do anything if you have absolutely no signal, you're in a dead zone. But as long as you have at least some signal, or at least 1 bar, you will get a improved signal using the booster here. All right, I am back in the truck. We're getting ready to mount all the various different components, the booster, the external antenna, and before I mount the internal antenna, I want to go ahead and just demonstrate with a cell call just to verify that this works. I'm getting all the bars that I'm supposed to be getting. So we're going to go ahead and call Mrs. Outdoors here.
Hello.
Hello, Mrs. Outdoors. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Loud and clear. The system's working good?
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
There you have it. Okay, so that wraps up today's video. I will have links in the description where you can get this. Like, subscribe, helps the channel out quite a bit. We will see you next time.
Hello?
Hi, Mrs. Outdoors. Can you hear me okay?
Hello?
Hi there, Mrs. Outdoors. Can you hear me okay?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
I don't hear you. Oh, I hear you now. Sorry, I didn't have the speaker button on.
Okay, I got to call you back then.
Okay.